Tim, should we tell the listeners how to join the Golfweek Amateur Tour?
Yes, of course. We should probably do it now before we forget, though.
I agree. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.
And remember, this podcast can be found on all the major platforms. So make sure you like, download, and share it with all your friends and family.
Chris, that's a great idea. Now, on to the show. All right, Chris, welcome back. Welcome to the third episode. We think we got a good lineup this week. We've got a female national champion. We're going to talk about a Ryder Cup and got a very special guest if people hang out to the end of the show.
Yeah, it's going to be a good episode. I can't believe we're already on our third one, but I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Let's go ahead and get it started.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast. We are your hosts, Tim Newman and Chris Rocha. As the oldest and largest amateur golf tour in the country, we put on individual stroke play golf tournaments that are handicapped by flights in 48 cities across the country. The Golfweek Amateur Tour, where amateurs play like pros. Welcome back to the Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast. Chris, you had a vacation. How'd it go?
It was real good. Went out to Orlando, 2 weeks, my sister's wedding, and then took the family to, Disney World, Universal. You have to do that when you're in Orlando. Was able to survive our first hurricane ever. Us coming from Texas, we don't even know what water is or rain. So seeing that much rain for 2 days was interesting.
So what did they have you all do? I know they closed Disney World down and
yeah.
So what were you all doing at that point?
At that point, we were actually at one of the resorts. They kind of put a soft shelter in place for us. The main area of that resort was open for food. You could go there, get food. They had activities for the kids. They did a great job for keeping everybody entertained because they weren't able to use the pools, go to the parks, do anything like that. But, with me and my wife, it kind of brought us a little bit of COVID memories, having to be stuck in a room for 2 days. But we survived. Kids were great. We had some activities for the kids to do, so it was a fun time. It was an experience at the least.
Well, I'm glad that you guys made it out all right, and where Florida received a lot of damage, from a tour perspective. We made it out pretty much unscathed, and hopefully Florida can build back as quickly as possible. I don't know if anybody's seen any of the video or pictures. There's like Sanibel Island. The only way to get to it is by boat or helicopter. So some of those places are just devastated. It's too bad.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, you could see driving around, you could see the damage that went through it. Luckily, we were a little west of Orlando at the time, so we only got most of the rain and winds, but nothing too crazy. But it's an experience that we'll have with us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. So in terms of national or natural disasters, you all get tornadoes.
Where we're at in El Paso, we don't get any of that.
Oh, so
I know. Yeah, we're far away from all that. I know that Texas freeze that happened a couple years back, we missed it. Everybody lost power, and we were still good to go. I think the biggest thing that we would have is during our monsoon season, where we get a bunch of rain. But it's not much to be, I would say, like devastation like you would see a hurricane or tornado.
So you're saying everybody should move to El Paso to get away from all this stuff?
If you want to have peace and quiet, come on down.
All right. Well, last week we had a Sea Flight national champion in Dougie Phillips from the Philly Tour, and he got moved to the B flight. You got moved to the B flight, and
Yep.
we're really, really lucky to have a former national champion who's also a tour director, who is also one of only 2 females to have ever won a national championship for the Golfweek Amateur Tour. And so we're honored to have Michelle Gillen, who's the tour director for both Michigan East and Michigan West. Michelle, welcome.
Well, thank you. Glad
Welcome,
to be here.
Michelle. So you won the national championship 2016. I think I was there when you did win it. Walk us through the tournament. When did you realize that you were in contention and had a chance?
Well, going into day 3, I was 2 shots back. So I knew that going into the day that I was 2 shots back. Having been in contention, I think in 2013, I was either tied for the lead or just behind the lead. And at the turn, I made the mistake of looking at the leaderboard. And then it went downhill. I ended up 5th that year. So I learned what not to do, if you will. Even though I was 2 shots back, I knew that I just needed to play my game. Don't look at what everybody else is doing. All I can do is what I can do. So going into day 3 with the 2 shots, I knew that it didn't really matter, that I just needed to play my game.
Yeah, nice. I mean, me personally, I don't look at the scoreboard unless it's like 3 holes left and I know I'm playing a good round. So I can completely understand what you're saying with that.
Yeah. Well, even on 18, I don't remember if I knew where I stood or not. But I knew I just needed to not screw it up. So I ended up bogeying the last hole, and the guy that I was most in contention with birdied the hole. So that's a 2-stroke difference right there. So I didn't know exactly where that put me until we finished that hole, and the director was there to tell me that I indeed had won. So I didn't actually know it until the end of the round.
That's awesome. So you were in the lead group, and I was going to ask you, were you paired with the people who came in second and third, and
yeah,
and so
we were all
you
the
were
top
going
4.
head to head with them, for the 5 hours, and
Yep. It was pretty much almost like a match play at that point. You just have to make sure that you're first off beating everybody in your group. Now, of course, somebody in the group behind could sneak up or what have you, but first task at hand is to beat your foursome. So that's kind of what I was doing, is just more of a match play type thing of keeping ahead of them or catching them and then surpassing them.
So you're now in the B flight. How did the national championship win change your game, your approach to the game, if at all?
I wouldn't say that it really changed anything. My game is what got me there in the first place. So I just needed to continue with that same game, same mentality. And lo and behold, just last weekend, I won in the B flight.
I saw that. And you actually finished as so this is another reason that makes you so good at what you do. I mean, you're managing all of these people. I mean, and we'll get to the numbers here a little bit later, but you're managing all these people, plus you're playing in tournaments, and you finish second in your points race, which is phenomenal. I mean, I don't play anymore because I can't mentally I can't do it, and it's a disaster. I can't run the tournament and play. But for you to be able to do that, it's phenomenal. You finish second in your points. That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have its challenges for sure. There are some games where it's like, okay, yeah, I was not there at all that day. But
yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. Being able to play and manage the tournament is not an easy task. So congratulations on your win. And now that I'm in B flight, I just got moved up. What advice would you give to any player as we head into this year's national championship?
Well, as cliche as it sounds, play your own game, honestly. Because I witness so often players try to compete with the other people's games. Like if they drive it longer, if they what have you, they're trying to keep up with them instead of playing their own game that got them there in the first place. So that's the biggest thing I learned, especially being a female. I do not hit the ball long, but my advantage is my accuracy. I find fairways. So I just have to remember just to play my game. I can't keep up with their distances. Even as a guy, there's guys that hit shorter. There's guys that hit longer. You just got to play your game. honestly the best advice. And practice Bermuda if you're not familiar with hitting out of Bermuda. That's definitely some advice there.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I mean, we get it all the time. How come, I got to play the blues? Well, because what if the blues were at 6,000 yards? Would you still complain? I mean, you've got to take whatever yardage and slope and rating you're playing from and play the way that you would play to get the ball in the hole for 18 holes. And it doesn't really matter. Like you said, some people are good with distance. Some people are good at putting. Some are good at chipping. I mean, if you're a 12-9, you're a 12-9, right? So it doesn't really matter. So that's great advice. So let's switch gears for a little bit and talk about your role as a tour director. Last year, Michigan East finished with 320 members. I think you missed out by one or two members from being. It was real close.
It was pretty close.
Real close.
It was a
and Michigan West had over 150 members. So,
yeah, it grew by 50% in 1 year. COVID just brought everybody out of the woodworks, and it grew like 50%. Normally, we had around 100 players every year, and it jumped to 150 in a year.
Nuts. But if you look at either one of those tours, just take one of those tours, you're dealing with one of the largest tours in the country, and you've got two of them as the largest tours in the country, which is incredible. This year, you blew it out of the water again, right? So Michigan East ended up with having 330 members, and you are the largest tour this year, which is incredible. And Michigan
for the first time,
and Michigan West grew to 165 members. How do you do it? How do you manage it? I mean, it's incredible. Give us the secret sauce.
Yes, please.
Well, if there was a secret sauce, I'd share it, but there isn't. The thing is, I've been at this for 12 years. So it's not like it happened overnight. It's been, a continual process. Each year you get larger and larger and larger. Biggest thing that I've noticed is just your best advocate is word of mouth. If you have a good product, they'll come. And they do. Each year it grows and grows and grows because players tell their buddies, they tell their family members, and then they join. And then just, goes from there. So when you have a good product to start off with, it kind of sells itself.
And COVID helped everybody, but obviously, I mean, you take that aside because if it helped everybody the same, then everybody would have grown the same. But again, your tour, I mean, it grew exponentially. It was phenomenal. And so for those members that are listening, that's the thing. You've got to bring your friends out. If you're enjoying it, you're playing golf at other times.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it even more if your buddies are with you or your family members. Sure.
So that
or even your girlfriends or wives.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, we get 150 and I'm excited. And you have over 300 2 years in a row. Crazy. Congratulations on that.
Appreciate it.
Now, let's go back into this. You're a tour director for us, but what is like being a tour director as a woman, especially in the golf industry, so male dominated? What advice would you give other females who are on the fence about joining our tour?
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Srixon.
It's a little bit different in my situation. Like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years, but for most of those years, it was a team effort with my late husband. So it's not like I've been the female forefront for all that time. So I've had time to build that rapport and, build it to where it is, to the respect that I have and everything else. So it's really hard to compare, if I were coming in as myself and only myself. But for the most part, it really doesn't factor in. I think I've earned the respect, so I don't have any qualms about being a female or even new players that come in. I don't really see any difference that it really matters. They just appreciate the product that I give them, and that's really what they care about. it doesn't matter who's doing it. It's the end result.
Yeah, for sure.
And then advice that I'd give, it's easy to say, but don't be intimidated. Women tend to be so intimidated. They're like, well, nobody cares, really. Honestly, the only person that really cares is yourself. Everybody's out there for the same reason. We're all just trying to have fun, compete, have a good time. Whether you're male, female, what have you, we're all there for the same reason. So try not to be so intimidated. It's not that intimidating. But like I said, it's easy to say. I understand that. But in all reality, that's kind of how you need to look at it.
I appreciate that.
So you also do the Heritage Cup with Louisiana South during National Championship Week. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners or JP? Maybe stir the pot a little bit?
Yeah. Well, let's just say our games will speak for themselves. I don't need to say anything about it.
So subtle.
Yes. That's my specialty.
So where are you all playing this year? Okay.
Dolphin Head.
Good. That's awesome.
For all 3 rounds.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so much
time.
for joining us. I really do appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you next week.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Michelle.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Take care.
Wow, it was great to get Michelle on. She's doing a really good job. The 330 members for the year, it kind of blew everybody away.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being able to see what every tour's potential could be is awesome. And having her on here will hopefully bring more women over the fence on joining the tour. I know I need that help. I know there's probably other tours that need that help. And if there's listeners on here, don't, like she said, don't be intimidated. Come out, come play with the guys, and maybe you could beat them.
Exactly. They're doing the Heritage Cup, and you all do a Ryder Cup, don't you?
We do the Ryder Cup the 2 weekends after National Championship. We rotate it between either Arizona courses or an El Paso course. A lot of fun. I hope Gabe's listening because we have that 3-1 record, and it's about to be 4-1 pretty soon.
So where are you all playing this year?
This year we're going up to Arizona. We're playing at a Tubac Golf Resort in Spa. It's actually the course where Tin Cup was filmed. We play there every year during the season, but he feels like that might be an advantage for him. But little does he know that it's one of our favorite courses too. So
okay. So you've been doing it Ryder Cup for 4 years.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So our next guests have the what I would call the mother of all Ryder Cups. It's called the Lava Cup between Louisiana North and Tidewater. And please welcome in Gina O'Neill, the tour director for Louisiana North, and Lyle Joyner from Tidewater. Welcome.
Thanks, Jack, for having us.
Thanks, Tim.
Well, thanks for jumping on real quick. This is a busy time of year. I know you're busy preparing for national championship and your Lava Cup, which comes even before that. So thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. And Tim, one thing I know you guys just hit on. From me personally, Michelle is an inspiration to everyone, including us as directors. So hats off to Michelle on a fabulous year.
Yes. I can't say enough nice things about her. I mean, it's right. as I was doing some research to talk to her about some things, more and more things came up and just phenomenal. And she downplayed it all like she normally does, and so we're lucky to have her.
Yeah, definitely.
So Gina, I don't want you downplaying your accomplishments too, because I found out some things about you yesterday that I didn't know about.
It's all luck.
No. Gina. So you just finished your second year as tour director.
I did. I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
We've grown exponentially too. I'm just really, really pumped. I'm so excited for the future.
Awesome. But let's be real here. You've been playing for a while. 160 rounds on tour. Did you know it was that many?
No, I did not. Yeah, I started in 2011.
Okay.
I actually came on to, the saying, if you can't beat them, join them. I guess that's what the saying is. so I really joined so I could spend more time with my husband. Never thought that I'd be able to compete. Was a D flighter starting out, and now for the first time ever, I've moved up to B flight. So I'm excited.
You and me
I'm
both.
ready to represent the ladies out there.
Well, I can't say I'm going to represent the ladies, but I am in B flight as well, so I'll be seeing you out there. Um,
Congrats.
but you just went over it, but give us a brief history on you as a player, and why you wanted to be a tour director.
I had some real good leadership to look up to, Lyle being one of them, the biggest one actually. But I had Eric Simmons. He was our original tour director. We call him Commish, and he's just the most beautiful soul. He is the encyclopedia of Golf Week and the rules of golf. And he was an inspiration to me. He treated me like a sister as well as all the other players on the tour. And I loved playing. And then when I was offered this opportunity with Mark 2 years ago, I was all for it. I mean, because I knew what it was like to be a player, but didn't know what it was to be a director. And of course, I was an armchair quarterback for many, many years, thinking, it's so easy. They don't really do much. But now that I got my feet wet, much, much respect goes to all the directors out there, especially Lyle. He's been such an inspiration to me. He's a brother for life for me, and I can't wait to see him in the next couple of days.
She's just buttering me up.
Well,
No, sir, I tell the truth.
well,
You know me, I don't lie.
Lyle, you're an inspiration to a lot of tour directors. I lean on you a lot, and I know a lot of other tour directors do as well. You've been tour director for 19 years. What keeps you going?
I would have to say the players. The players do. We have some great players here in Tidewater, as well as what I consider brothers and sisters in Louisiana that I enjoy spending time with them once a year. For just a little less than a week, but at least it is something that we get to do, and we've done it now 15 years. So this is the 16th year coming up in just a few days.
Well, for any of you listeners out there who haven't seen any of Lyle's Facebook lives from the course, you're really missing out. I look forward to seeing them every weekend. He does a great job and really gets the players involved. It's fun to see.
You'll probably see some of those coming up Saturday through Wednesday. I'm sure.
Nice. Now, give us some history on the Lava Cup. How did it start? Key players.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you.
That.
I'll give you a little bit of insight here. Every year, players from Louisiana and Virginia go head to head in what we consider our Ryder Cup, President's Cup, and it's everything you want. It's the drama, it's the tension, incredible golf, it's the camaraderie, the sportsmanship, all equaled, and it's captivating over 4 days in Hilton Head. We've had some battles, we've had some unfortunate blowouts. But in the fall of 2006, October, Eric Simmons and myself, the commish, we started up a discussion about trying to do something like this. It was just kind of an early talk. And so after months of talking, the Lava Cup started the next year in 2007. And so it was a 36-hole one-day event at Shipyard. And it was 20 players versus 20 players. Louisiana would go on and win 17-13. But as I like to say, the Lava Cup was off. It was running, and the buzz was quickly taken off. And just to kind of recap for a few years there, in 2008, we bumped everything up. So the very next year, it went 40 versus 40. And the excitement was growing because both tours easily had 60 or 70 players that wanted to come. So it was quickly becoming the event that they wanted to try to make leading up to the Tour Championship. And so that particular year, I remember all of the golfers around the 18th green because we all did tee times. And, it was neck and neck. Jeff Hawkins, Tim Rusk. This is a memory that I'll remember the rest of my life. Jeff Hawkins hit a shot that hit the bulkhead and bounced up 8 feet from the hole. he made that putt, and Virginia went on to win 31-29. And so the next year, Louisiana, one of their many blowouts that they blew us out. And then Virginia came right back, 2010 winning. And so 2011 was kind of like the rubber match there for the first 5 years. And before we started that, Eric Simmons came up to me and he said, Lyle, this is going to be my last year. And so 2011, Louisiana won. It was his last year. It was Gina's first year as a player, and she was the MVP that year of the Lava Cup. So it's kind of full circle right there for sure. And after that, Eric had both tours, the North and the South. And so when he stepped down, Mark Talasso took over the North, and Britt Guillory took over the South. So for a few years, it was still the way it was. It's just it was me versus two tours, two tour directors, and then after that, Mark Talasso and I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, up until the last year that he and I were captain in 2017, and so we announced at the 2017 that we would be having player captains starting in 2018. And so we would announce each year a player that would be then the captain for the upcoming Lava Cup. And so this is our 5th year that we've done that. And ironically, the first 5 years are almost a mirror image of where we are now. And where Virginia won the first of the player captains, but Louisiana won the next 2, and Virginia won last year. So I guess you could say this is the rubber match, the 5th year of player captains. And we have Clint Morris from Louisiana and Kennedy Bland from Virginia that'll take at it here starting Saturday with our skins game, and then Sunday coming up with the matches in Hilton Head.
Nice. So what format do you guys play?
We will play the skins game on Saturday, and then we have a 4-ball on Sunday. We let the captains pick the formats they want to do. So the next day is actually a scramble. It's something that we've only done 2 other times. We usually do a shambles. Day 3 will be a modified alternate shot, and we have done straight foursomes, but this is where both players get to hit a T-ball, and you pick the one, and then you just alternate from there. And then we'll do singles on the final day. So there's, I want to say 120. Isn't that right, Gina? 120 points out on the line?
Yes.
So and so last year, just so you know, last year was 53.5 to 51.5. And when you think about it, it's just one match. It's one match that would have tied it. That's it. So
right.
To be that competitive over 4 days and end up like that is pretty special.
You know, when people ask me sometimes what's so great about Lava Cup, well, the reason I love it so much is because you play against these people on your tour all year long, and then you finally come together 1 week out of the year and you get to play as a team, and they absolutely love the idea. So that's really kind of, to me, what sells it, other than the veterans or the previous years, the people that have come in previous years. I mean, they talk it up so much. They're looking forward to it every single year. So really, I don't even have to advertise it. The players actually advertise it to the new players for me. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. What courses are you guys playing at this year?
This year we will play Hilton Head Lakes, which is just past Bluffton. I mean, as you know, pricing on the island is getting up there, and it's not just that. When you're trying to do an event like this with 90 to 100 players, you want to be able to do so many things. And I understand, golf courses, they can't allow you to keep the carts and to be able to watch the other matches and things like that, because they need the carts in there and they want the rounds played. I understand all that. And so do the players. So, when we want to be able to stay out there and we want to have our spouses out with us, these are things that we have to weigh and come up with the best venue that we can.
Yeah, definitely. I completely understand that.
If you've never been to watch, you really should go. There are spouses that follow around just like the Ryder Cup. I've been to a few as a spectator, but the dinners and the pairings party that Mark and Janet Toloso had at their team house, legendary.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Gina, has that been passed on to you?
It has.
So what are you having for dinner?
Well, we're going to have crawfish etouffee, Louisiana style, and gumbo.
Oh,
So
Wait,
they get a tour.
hold on. When is this?
Tuesday.
Ooh, I fly in Tuesday. I'm gonna have to get that
Come on
information.
in. Come and see us. All's welcome.
Potato
We'll have
salad on the top, right, Gina?
That's correct.
Potato salad on the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So just to let you know, I'm not cooking this because it would be a total spam. But I have 2 people that I've hired to cook for us, so it's going to be amazing.
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
It sounds like a fun time, and I might have to join you one year because it,
Oh, yeah,
with
all
us
the
having.
All the rookies get shots.
Mhm.
Lyle and his team like to give us a lot of fireball shots, thinking that's going to get in our heads, and he got me one year. I never lost a match in singles match
Yup.
until the one year that I decided to follow the crowd, and Lyle said, "Here, you have a shot. We're going to have a shot with all the rookies." Well, I had 2 or 3 shots, and I was 9 feet tall, bulletproof, and they said, "Take Andy." She's Andy Grant. She's a
Oh,
beast.
man.
On the Tidewater Tour. And of course I thought, yeah, I'll take her. So I took her, and that was my first loss. I was so upset. But love her. She deserved it. She's an amazing player. But I can tell you this, I will not have that much fireball again.
That's the fun times about Ryder Cup events.
It is. And I tell you, guys, the yearly banter that we have on our Facebook group, it's all fun. It's jokes. Even guys sit out there, they wish birthday wishes, and I'll tell you something. They constantly watch the leaderboard for the other tour, and they screenshot it. They post it up there. They rag on each other a little bit, but it's all in good fun. Deep down, the brotherhood and the sisterhood between these 2 tours, it's lasted for 16 years, and it's because of the players. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how does this Lava Cup add to your local tour?
I would say it's right up there. I mean, these players are wanting to be here. We've got dozens of players that wanted to come, and they didn't make it. So, yeah, they want to qualify. They want to make it, just like qualifying for nationals.
I had several people want to join my tour just for the Lava Cup. And a few of them are playing in nationals as well. So this is the first year that we've had as many champ fighters as we've ever had in Louisiana. So they're really pumped up, and they're going strictly for the Lava Cup. And
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, we pump up our Ryder Cup every year, and the new guys, they don't understand how much fun team events can be when, like you said, you're playing against these guys all year long, and for one event you get to team up with them, and you know how they play. You know who's the better chipper, who's the better putter. I want to be with this guy. It's so much fun.
And of course, much like the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup, there's no prizes, at this event as far as gift certificates and things like that. But they do compete for, obviously, the Lava Cup. They compete for some top performer awards that we give out each day. And, at the end of the day, they're not out there to try to win a gift card. They want to play for each other, their team. And also, deep down, they want to see those guys and girls that they didn't see the last year. And I'll tell you, we have had players that have missed 2, 3, 4 years, and they've been grinding all of those years. And then that 5th year they get a chance to come back and they realize how much they missed it. Absolutely.
So what advice would you give to other tour directors to get their members excited to either start a Ryder Cup against another city or to build on what they're already doing? I mean, to get you guys going for 16 years like you have.
I think first and foremost, the director has to know that no matter how big the event is, it can be 12 versus 12, but they have to sell it. They have to be a part of it. They want to be a part of it, start to finish. And it really goes a long way when you get the players involved, as being a captain. So that's for sure.
Yeah, I think we have we have 3 ladies playing in the Slava Cup no?
No, we have yourself and Andy, and then we have a guest, Jennifer. She's not in the Lava Cup, but she will be there riding around and things like that. She obviously, that's the last 2 years. I know she's really wanting to be there, and hopefully next year she makes it. But she'll be there. She just won't be playing. That's all.
Yeah, the only other female that I have on my tour, her name's Pam Cruz in D-Flight. She was really working hard all year to make the points, and she barely missed it by maybe 100 points. But she's really excited. Her husband plays as well, and she is so pumped up. She's coming. She bought all the shirts that we're going to have there just in case someone falls out and can't play. She's ready to go in. So
that's right.
That's the joy of it. Seeing her excited and seeing these rookies for the first time nervous, and they say, "Why am I so nervous? I don't understand." That's because you love it. Why do we do anything? Because we love it. I was telling you also say that about Michelle, her playing it down. I know her, and she's amazing. But to go back on that, when I first started, my goal was to just beat one guy. If I could beat one guy, I did my job. And that was my mentality. And I really thought, oh my goodness, this is a guy's game. I'm not going to fit in. I'm not going to do well. They're not going to want me there. But I'm telling you, they've done nothing but make me feel like I was part of their family, and I absolutely love it. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to take this tour over, because I wanted to almost mimic Lyle, which I really can't ever. But he gives me inspiration to want to do better every year. Also, Chris, I don't want to discount you. If it wasn't for you, my first year, I would have probably never made it. You were so amazing to me. So I thank you for all the help that you gave me as well.
No problem. I know every new tour director goes through the same thing. I was there too. I believe 2 years before you started. So I know how it feels. You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can add one thing, I'll tell you something I witnessed last year that I'd never witnessed up until that point. And that, I guess, the whole scheme of everything. And that was the true bond between 2 captains, John Lederer, who's played a lot of your events as well up in the DC tour, and then Dylan McCartney from Louisiana. These 2 guys were announced as captains the previous year. And for that entire year, the communication between the 2 of them, they became best of friends. They're going to play in the Skins game on Saturday together. They both like hunting. I mean, they have so many of the same similarities. And when it was all over with, the hug that they gave each other after that full year of dedication, it was worth it. It really was. And so, I know we try to do this every year, and there's always going to be things we could do better and all, but having these captains like this is really cool.
Well, that's really what it's all about, is building the friendship. We're playing golf, but it's also always about the people and the friendships and the experiences that we have.
That's right.
So again, thanks so much for taking some time with us, and we'll see you all next week.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good seeing you all.
You too.
Tim, what a great conversation we just had with the Lava Cup directors. Me personally, with our Arizona El Paso Ryder Cup, it's been a great time. You get to not only play with your own tour members, but also get to have those bragging rights for that full year, especially with us going to their events and them coming to our events. So it's, the Ryder Cups on the tour are what bring your tour members together at the end of the year.
Yeah, and Lyle and Gina do a phenomenal job with it. We do a in DC we do a Ryder Cup with Tidewater, and that's actually going to grow a little bit this year. It's going to be between Tidewater, Eastern North Carolina, and Myrtle Beach in November. So it'll be Ryder Cups within Ryder Cups.
Right.
So that'll be good, and it's really no different than the Ryder Cup, Airfingers quote, or the President's Cup that we just had, that was just here in Charlotte a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we get to see it on TV and see how much fun these guys have. And when you're out there playing and your partner hits a 30-foot putt to win that hole, that celebrations happen in real life. So it's a lot of fun. Can't wait to have ours at the end of the year. I might have to go visit their Lava Cup this year when I get to Hilton Head, because it just sounds like so much fun. Maybe if they need a special guest one year, I'll go play for one of their teams.
Well, you really should get out to at least watch. I mean, right around, hang out with the families. It's a heck of a lot of fun. And that kind of leads us into our special guest. This is what he's built over the last 28 years, and we're really starting to see the fruits of some of these things come together, like with the Lava Cup for 16 years, your Ryder Cup, all the ones that we have, but bringing them right here locally for the national championship, and we need to really be thankful that our next guest, Dennis McCormac, has built this opportunity for us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know where I'd be playing golf if it wasn't for this tour. Picked it up and then saw a social media ad about a tour coming up. And 12 years later, now I'm running the tour. So this special guest, like you said, Dennis, he's built something that was just an idea for him, and now look where it's been.
All right, so please welcome in the president of the Golfweek Amateur Tour, Dennis McCormac. Dennis, welcome.
Hey, welcome. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Yeah, I know we're just a little over a week away. You're very busy, so we appreciate you taking your time to join us for a few minutes and talk about the tour.
Sure, absolutely. Happy to do so.
Dennis, again, thank you for coming. Real quick, for those listeners who are not familiar with the tour, give us a brief history. We do say we're the oldest and largest tour in the country. How many years has the tour been in existence?
So the tour this year is its 28th year. I started it in 1995 in Charlotte. I got about 50 guys to join and play what is now considered a half a season, about 8 events. And now the tour this year has grown to over 48 cities nationwide. Also, our senior tour started in 1999 for players 50 and over, and next year will be our 25th anniversary for that, in which we are currently in 23 cities. So add them all up, and we're in 71 cities across the country.
Wow, and out of those 71 cities, how many members do we have total?
So if you total it all up, we have 6,652 at the end of this year for Golfweek, and we have just over 2,150, 2,145. So you're looking at 8,800 total combined.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep, just shy of 9,000 members. It's quite impressive, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, and with us being a week away from our national championship, how many players usually attend that and take over? What I say, take over the island of Hilton Head.
Right. So currently we're just over 900 participants signed up and paid for Golfweek. That'll be a 3-day event on 9 courses across the island. we'll take up 9 courses for 3 days straight. Then we take a couple days off, and the seniors will come in, and they have 5 courses tied up with currently 450 players signed up and registered. So 1,350 total, which will be our largest ever.
Nice.
So, Dennis, with national championship, I always say that's the best week of the year. What do you, as the president of the tour, what do you look forward to? I mean, we've kind of built it so people have actually moved here. Our members come, and this is their vacation. But what do you look forward to during national championship week?
Yeah, I played this game. I started out when I was really young, and I got competitive in it. So I still really love the competitiveness of it in all 5 flights. But really, truly, it's the camaraderie. It's these guys coming together every year. They haven't seen guys from all over the country, but they're really good friends with them. They FaceTime them. They're on Facebook together, and they get to spend a week together and have a good time and encourage each other and push each other. And then, we all get together on Friday and we have food and we do the team photos. It's just all the camaraderie and the great friendships that this tour builds that really, really, makes me excited.
I would completely agree. Me coming almost 20 plus hours away, I get to meet people that I probably would never meet in my whole life. So it's a lot of fun. I completely agree with you on that. Let's switch gears real quick. I know all the numbers aren't in yet, and we talked about this last episode with Stand Up to Cancer. But is there something you want to mention about Stand Up to Cancer and how we are real big partners with them?
Yeah, well, as you well know, we got into this when we lost our first tour director to cancer. Unfortunately, that number is now at 4. So we are still battling this horrible disease, and we all came together as a team of all tour directors and said, let's when they came up with Stand Up to Cancer, when Katie Couric and all them came up with this, we decided to jump in and form a team. The team has currently raised over $250,000. We're probably one of the largest teams in the country next to Major League Baseball, which we got no shot there. And hopefully after the tour championship is over with the fundraising we'll do the week of the finals, maybe we'll reach about 300,000 currently.
That's huge, especially when you look at it comparing to organizations like Major League Baseball, American Express, Visa, all the Fortune 500 companies. For us to be at that level, that really says a lot about our members and their willingness to help find a cure for this disease.
Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't anyone that hasn't been touched or will be touched by cancer. So our players definitely respond and definitely tell us stories about how cancer has affected their life.
How about our members have been touched by Hurricane Ian? We pretty much got lucky there from a tour perspective, yes?
Right. I mean, obviously, we got 6 tours in Florida. Fortunately, all of our tour directors I've checked in with had no damage, structural or business. Obviously, we've lost some players for the finals for obvious reasons. Also, Charleston and Pawleys and parts of North Carolina took some hits. But again, most everyone who's responded back has said, I can't come because of other reasons other than, damage. So, yeah, we're very fortunate on the island. Nothing happened here. So when you guys arrive next week, this place is just, all the courses are in mint condition, perfect shape. And right now the weather forecast, which always happens after a hurricane comes through, is just Chamber of Commerce for like the next 2 weeks.
So what are some highlights from this year, either from individual players or tours that are notable to you?
Well, I tell you, I'd have to go with this one first. So again, the tour's 28 years old, and we've had several 63 shot, and believe it or not, probably 20 64s. But Lance Lancome out of the Jacksonville tour several months ago at the King and Bear, which is a highly rated golf facility in Florida at the World Golf Village, shot 31, 31, 62 to be the lowest recorded score ever in the history of the Golfweek Amateur Tour. He is coming to the national finals, so we'll look to see what he can do. But another great story is, I never thought I'd say this, but we actually have a player from a long time ago. He played as a younger junior on our tour. His father actually won our senior national finals. His name is Trevor Cohn, and he just qualified, got his card for the PGA Tour. He finished 23rd on the Korn Ferry Tour this year. So it's pretty exciting to have a guy that actually played years ago on our Golfweek Tour, now playing in the show. So we'll all be watching him this year and wishing him all the best. As far as individual achievements during the year, one of the biggest ones or the coolest ones, we probably had 50 hole-in-ones, which we give a special bag tag to anyone who gets a hole-in-one while playing in our tournament. But we did have one gentleman, Al Shepard, had an ace at Whistling Straits, which I'm sure he'll remember for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that was actually incredible. He holed out hole number 7, and as I did some research on that, of all the professional events and major events, there haven't found anybody that got an ace on hole number 7.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I've seen a lot. We did have back-to-back hole-in-ones in the Tour Championship in A-Flight at the Cup course about 10 years ago. We also had one year where we had a hole-in-one every day in the National Championship. Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen. I mean, in my own local Hilton Head event, our first tournament of the year, Jeff Wong, who is our current national champion, holed out on the first hole. And we all like, well, that's a super skin. 5 minutes later, a guy behind us holed out. Same hole.
That's crazy.
So our tour has some of the most crazy stats and crazy happenings you could ever believe.
Yeah, I mean that's golf in a nutshell right there. I know one of my guys made a hole-in-one on a par 4 on one of our short par 4s, so he's been bragging about that for a while now.
Yeah, he should. Yeah,
Real quick, what should each flight be excited about for their course rotations this year?
Well, as I just said, I mean, I don't think we could possibly be in any better shape for them. October is always great here, but we had a tremendous amount of rain in August, which not only reduced the amount of play on the courses, but also, softened them up. And then the rain went away, and we've had great temperatures to grow grass. But, in Champ Flight, we're going to be out at Hampton Hall, which all my Champ guys are so excited because it's the only course that we play in the rotation that is not tight, tree lined, and water packed. It gives you a lot of room off the tee. And with the caliber of Champ Flight guys that we got playing this year, we've got the best guys in the country. We got guys, not only Lance, but there was at TPC Scottsdale, I forgot to mention that HB Kim from El Paso shot 4 under each day. And Chris, you were at those tracks. To shoot 8 under for 2 days out there is quite impressive. So I'm looking for my Champ guys. Probably it's going to take 12 to 15 under unless we have any kind of crazy winds because the weather looks perfect. And that golf course is gettable to where I'm looking at double-digit PGA type numbers to win our national championship this year in Champ Flight. As we move along the A Flight, they've got what I consider one of the best courses on the island in Atlantic Dunes. Davis Love redid it. I like it just as much as Harbor Town. And they'll also be at Oyster Reef, which I was just out there 2 weeks ago. Again, it's in incredible shape and a great test to golf. The B Flight gets the newest course on our tour rotation, a Jack Nicklaus design Golden Bear at Indigo Run. We've never played this course, and it is tight. And the course actually took out 500 trees in the winter and had requested from the city for years to do so because they were having trouble growing grass on tees. They finally let them do it. And when we had our tournament there in April, the guy said, which 500 trees did they take out? Because it's still as tight as ever. They also will be playing Conchacoba Hilton Head, which is a Reese Jones design. It's a classic private club on the island that the guys will really enjoy. Sea Flight takes us to Dolphin Head and then Arthur Hills Palmetto Dunes. So they'll be right at the main scoreboard on Sunday. the cool thing about last time Sea Flight played this golf course, there was a sudden death playoff. And Tim, I know you were there. Chris, I'm not sure if you were there or not, but all the people who had gathered to get their awards and celebrate their victories and celebrate everybody's wins went around to the 18th green where we had the playoff, and they both knocked it on, and one guy made the putt and one guy didn't. It was just, you couldn't script it or video it any better. And finally,
you mentioned
yeah.
it. I got chills thinking about. I remember
Yeah.
that it was incredible.
Oh, and it's Sea Flight, and the guys are just like, literally, there's probably 500 people behind that 18th green, and they played it like they were champ flight, So, and finally, our D Flight. The great news is we got back on Arthur Hills. They redid that course. We weren't sure if it was going to be ready in time, but it is opening in the next 2 days. So everything is brand spanking new on that course. They'll be one of the first people to play it, and it will be immaculate. I've been out there watching the redo, and we were just very fortunate that I got the call a couple weeks ago, and they invited us back on there. We're always contracted at the Cup in the Hills. We switch on and off. But we're really excited that D-Flight is playing on a brand new redone venue. And then, of course, their final day, they'll be playing what is considered by most of the players on the tour their favorite course, which is the Robert Trent Jones course at Palmetto Dunes.
So during National Championship Week, there's another competition. It's a Team Cup. A lot of tour directors and players talk about it, but only a few tours have ever won it. And Hilton Head, I don't want to hear how good Hilton Head is and how they're going to win it again. You all won it 2 of the last 3 years. But what does it take for a team to actually win the Cup?
Yeah. I push the Cup with my guys, and I think a lot of the other tour directors do as well. What it really takes is, you definitely need some good champ guys, and you need a good representation in champ flight. Not that the deviation of scores is that big, but it definitely helps to have a deep champ like tour. And then as you move down the way, if you've got 5 or 6 guys competing in each flight, that just gives you more opportunity for more scores, from guys. You don't have to be a part of day 1 or day 2, but if you can shoot an A flight, a 75 on day 3, that really helps your team, so they don't have to take, maybe the second place score is an 80 and the third's an 85. So the more you have, especially as you get into the higher flights, C and D, where the stroke variances, as you well know, can be quite differential. If you don't have to take 100 in D and you can take a 90, you're gaining 10 on the total points. It is crazy that, yes, we have won 2 out of the last 3 years, but we only won by 1 shot one year and 3 shots last year. So it's always tight. The Team Cup is always tight, but the key is the more guys you have in each flight, the better your chances are, because you can, you have more opportunity to pick scores.
Yeah, me and Arizona do a Team Cup for their TPC Scottsdale event, so I know how close those scores can be, depending on how many players are in each flight.
Exactly. And then we do have a 2-man team that's kind of a tournament within the tournament, and guys pick a partner within only their flight, and both scores count both days no matter what, or every day no matter what. And again, we've seen those formats go into playoffs or 1 stroke difference. So it's just kind of a cool thing we add to the event.
Yeah, that's a fun one for anyone that's listening and that's going. Find a partner. Maybe it's not from your tour, because I partnered up with a guy from Dallas 2 years back, and we went into a playoff, and ended up coming out the winners. So it's fun to get to meet people that way, and also have a little fun tournament within the tournament, like you said.
Correct. Yeah, and we award crystal and prizes for that event, just as we do the national championship.
Mm-hmm. So as each round winds down for the players, what should they expect after the round on those days?
Yeah, so like I said, Friday's the big day for team photos, and most every tour director gets, shirts for their guys, or whether they're donated or the players buy the shirt, and they all wear a specific color on Friday. We have a professional photographer out at the Arthur Hills, which is the main scoreboard for the entire week. And then, Saturday is camaraderie day, usually college football, and guys are all having fun, eating lunch, talking about their teams. And then, of course, on Sunday, we crown our 5 national champions, our Team Cup winners, our Edwin Watts 2-man team winners, and, of course, obviously, just a general overall great time on Sunday, as whether you finish in 25th or 1st, you're all getting awards and all getting clapped, and you get your pictures taken, and Tim does a stellar job of doing the announcing for me, so I can be down there to hand each individual winner their gift cards.
Dennis, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate your time. I know you've been busy, but maybe during national championship, when we go live, we can grab you for a couple minutes and you can give an update to all the listeners.
Sure. I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
All right. Thanks, bud. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dennis.
Chris, I'm so glad we got an opportunity to have Dennis on. I know he's really busy getting things ready to go. He's probably busier this week than he will be next week. So, again, glad he could spend some time with us.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great interview. Great insight on what he goes through leading up to the national championship. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah, he outlined the courses. I'm excited for the players. Especially get back on in Palmetto Hall. The D Flight's going to be playing the newest course, which is great, and the Jones course. But obviously, of all the courses, Hampton Hall, where Champ plays, that's probably my favorite course that we play. But all of them are great.
Yeah, definitely. I've been able to do the rotation once, and now in B Flight being able to do the new course on there as well, it's going to be fun.
Then I can't thank Michelle Gillen enough for spending time. Former national champion, has the largest tour. As much as she downplayed her accomplishments, us as tour directors and other people that watch her, she's amazing, and so glad that she is with our tour.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to meet her a couple of years back was awesome. She's an inspiration to all the ladies that either are playing or want to play. So if you're listening to it and you've been on the fence, just like she said, don't be intimidated. Jump over that fence, sign up for your local tour, and start meeting these boys.
Exactly. Need more females, and then we got the Lava Cup. I don't even know what to say. It's huge. If you've never been, go out and watch and see if you can get an invite to the pairings and dinner party. It's like a frat party.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm serious. Gina, if you re-listen to this, I may have to text you and see where this location is, because this sounds like a party.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you're going to national championship, hopefully we're going to have some live broadcast after each round. Look for us, somewhere at the Hills course, either in the restaurant or out under the tent.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I don't think we've had anything like that at the national championship, at least since I've been going. So being able to have something like there, maybe grab some people off on the course and see how they enjoyed it, it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to see everybody. So, we've been doing this as third episode, and at the end of each episode, I've looked back and said, oh, we should have done this, should have done that. We've never told anybody where they can actually find the podcast at. So where can people find us?
So we're on all of your major platforms. Just go ahead, wherever you're listening to right now, go back, like it, follow us, so you can get that notification when we do post a new one.
And make sure you share it with all your friends. Chris?
Yes, definitely.
It's been excellent episode. Really looking forward to seeing you in person next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next week. You have a good one.
All right, bud. Take care.
Safe. Bye-bye.
Chris, we didn't do it again.
What didn't we do?
We didn't say how to join the tour.
That's right. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.